I hear the train a-coming, it's rolling around a bend.
Trains in America are usually of the Johnny Cash variety, lumbering along the tracks, a transportation system carrying more freight than people. Not so in Europe and Japan, where millions of people ride trains racing along at speeds of 200 miles per hour. Now there are plans for a fast train from Houston to Dallas, but 4 other states are racing to get their rail projects going: Florida, Ohio, California, and Washington.
We need to get after it.
Bob Lanier, former Metro chairman, now sits on the Texas High-Speed Rail Commission. He says the president wants the Transportation Department to build at least one system as a demonstration project, and will commit some federal money to it.
If they're going to try it, they're going to look for a place where they can put it down and build it pretty much in a hurry. You can't do that in the Northeast Corridor. You would be well into the next century resolving the environmental and right-of-way questions. You need about a 200 to 300 mile line. Dallas to Houston is that line.
But Lanier wants private industry to pick up most of the tab, certainly not state taxpayers. High-speed rail could cost $2 to $12 billion. Rail's chief opponent says a private company can't afford it.
We have a bullet plane between Dallas and Houston.
Herb Kelleher built Southwest Airlines, which shuttles 3 million commuters between Houston and Dallas each year.
I don't think high-speed rail is financially feasible without government subsidy, and I would suggest that neither the state nor the federal government should be putting money into a boondoggle of this nature.
He says rail can't compete, so last week we decided to make the trip between Texas' 2 largest cities to see how a flight would compare to a train trip. This is downtown Dallas. It took me about 2 hours and 20 minutes to make the trip, including parking time and traveling time from downtown to the airport. It means if a train could make the same trip in 90 minutes or less, it would be competitive. Such a train would have to be very fast, like this French TGV train cruising at speeds up to 300 miles per hour in the French countryside.
This train is operated without accident, 98% on time, on schedule. It's a phenomenal piece of equipment, and I'm so excited about it because I think that people between Dallas and Fort Worth and Houston are going to have an opportunity to ride this technology, this super train in the next 5 years.
The big competition for the French is the German new ice train. At this point, it's only an experimental train, but we decided to ride it from Frankfurt Station. After we left the heart of this German city, the train began a massive acceleration and finally reached a speed of about 280 kilometers or 180 miles per hour.
Very smooth. Very, very smooth.
It's difficult to tell just how fast you're moving, especially since drivers on the Autobahn next to us don't have speed limits. On this deluxe train, passengers will have dining cars and conference rooms.
The convenience of the compartment, the dining car service, and so on, I think the Americans would see relative, in a very short time, the big advantages of rail service.
In Europe, people are already used to riding high-speed passenger trains. Can you imagine what it would be like to live in a small Texas town and watch a train go by at 175 miles an hour?
Scare you to death, probably. Make you think.
The train could have no at-grade crossings for safety reasons, which brings us back to the phenomenal cost of high-speed rail, into the billions of dollars.
We're not going to be asking the taxpayers to pay for this train. This train will be financed with private dollars.
Rail opponents have this complaint.
I think really what this is all about is an attempt by the French and German manufacturers primarily to sell their equipment in the United States of America.
Both the French and Germans insist that 80% of the Dallas to Houston rail line would be built by Americans. And if this proposed train runs on schedule, the state's rail commission says it will let a franchise for it early next year. BEBE Burns, Channel 2 News, Nightcast.